Auburn dominates Mississippi State without Janai Broome, but they have another tough road test here this weekend. Yes, sir. We're back. It's another episode of the Barn Hoops podcast. It's Kyle Rush and Zep Jasper, and we are ready to talk about this Auburn basketball team that dadgummit, they just keep winning. No matter what happens, they just keep winning. And Zep, they got back on the domination train. They had a couple of close calls, and then they just go ahead and blow out the Mississippi State Bulldogs by 22. Another quad one win by 20 points. Like, it's kind of a joke now. Auburn goes to stays undefeated in conference play, goes to 9-1 on the year in quad one games, and then obviously 13-14-0 overall, something crazy. So man, Zep, they just keep winning. I know you watched the game. Auburn looked good even without Johni Broome. Talk about the things you saw and what impressed you most about that game Tuesday.
What impressed me the most is the team came out like straight from the jump. They stood on business. It's like I know we're missing Janai Broome. Mississippi State thought it was thought it was gonna be one of those games where they don't have Janai Broome. They can't do nothing without Janai Broome, but those guys stepped up. I mean, from 1 to 10 people on the bench that played in the game. It was a terrific game from the beginning to the end. Chad Baker Mazar came out with the energy from the jump. He let them know, like, I'm here. I'm here to play today. And Chaney
Yeah.
Johnson was unbelievable.
Yeah.
Unbelievable. He impressed me so much that game because I was like, oh, it's gonna be a little tough without Janai, but they impressed me so much. I was really proud of them dudes.
Yeah. So you had 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 guys in double digits. You mentioned Chad leading everybody with 20 points. Chaney was 17. Zep, you're a gambling guy? You're a gambling man. You ever throw some down every now and then? I got a question for you. If I would have given you, if I would have said, okay, Zep, I want you to bet on the over under here. Okay, I want you to add up Chaney Johnson and Dylan Cardwell's fouls in the first half. Okay, and do you think it's going to be over or under 1.5? How much money would you have lost betting that over?
I would have lost a lot of money because if it was me, I would have
Yeah,
said definitely it'd be an over.
yeah,
Definitely, most definitely. But
yeah.
going into the game, looking at the game, those guys didn't foul.
No,
And we
exactly.
know we know Dylan Caldwell is very foul prone. He stood in the paint. He stayed in that game. He was aggressive. He blocked shots. Shout out to Chaney Johnson because that guy was trying to go like that guy. I seen that guy try to bully guys and go at guys, but I seen the fear in Matthews. At the 10 minutes, I seen the fear.
You can see it on him.
I studied the game. And when I studied it, he tried Chaney Johnson 4 times. After those 4 times, he was scared. He didn't want to even go to the basket. He
I
wasn't
love it.
himself. It's like Chaney Johnson was a ghost and he couldn't get past that ghost.
That's so funny. Yeah. So I say all that they combined. So Auburn held Mississippi State to 27 points in the first half, and Chaney and Dylan had combined 1 foul in the first half. That is incredible. I would have lost my house, my mortgage, my cars. I'd have lost everything on that bet because I would have thought we were going to be in foul trouble pretty quickly after that tip off. But gosh, they played so daggone good. You're right. Chad jumped out, hit 2 threes right out the gate, and just basically said, we don't have to run this through Janai, just run it through me. And I'm gonna steal it, I'm gonna block it, I'm gonna pass it, I'm not gonna turn it over, and I'm gonna shoot it, and I'm gonna frustrate him. And he did that. He's having an incredible year. It's his sort of and they talked about this a little bit in the post game, how teams Chad wears is known to kind of wear his emotions on his sleeve. So other teams play into that. They'll hit him. They'll push him. they'll pull on him. They'll do things to try to get a reaction out of him, get him kind of going. And I figured out what he's done, Zep, to be able to vent without getting in trouble. And eventually he's going to get in trouble for this. But you know where I'm going with this, what he does.
I like to hear.
So it's whenever the ball's going out of bounds, he will turn around and he'll go out of bounds and he'll turn around, and he's done it like 5 times this year, and he'll just drill somebody, throw it way too hard to go off of the defender, and so it'll go out like he's saving it, throwing it off of him. That's how he's getting back. I think that's how he's getting back at him, but staying out of trouble. That's how he's kind of venting, because you'll see he's smiling after the fact. That's how he's staying sane, I think, throughout the game.
Most definitely, you hit a target on. I wasn't thinking at first, but that's the reason why Matthews is pretty mad, because after the play, Chad Baker-Mazara decided to take his anger out
Oh,
and act like he's throwing the ball at Matthews to get the ball to go out of bounds, even though it was a foul call already.
yeah,
He did that to get under his skin,
yeah.
to have one of those moments, but he did it in a sly way. He's doing that this year to
Yes, he
stay
is.
out of trouble. But
Yeah,
Matthews was like, "Hey, you ain't finna do that to me. Like, this ain't that. Like, I'm a bully. You know what I
yeah.
mean? Like, it's been games I seen Matthews. We didn't play against this guy. He's been like, he didn't
He's
win
been
at
there
one of
for a
the teammates.
decade.
He's been there
He's
for a
been
decade, but he's a tough guy.
Yeah, he
He
is.
didn't he didn't say something to one of my teammates before, and I really ain't like it, but I had to
What
go
he
along. Had to go
what he
along
says
with.
that? What he says that?
He was like, you don't want to me, you
Yeah.
don't want, you don't want to, and I was like, I was like
Who'd he
looking.
say that to?
I don't know. I'm trying to remember who it was, but it was somebody on that team that do a lot of trash talking.
Yeah.
And I looked over. I'm like, hey, who is he talking to?
Melendez was yapping too. I don't remember him, but he was mad too. They got under his skin. RJ Melendez.
Oh yeah,
Uh he's been in college for a while too. But
he
he played at Illinois, then he played at Georgia, and now he's at Mississippi State for his last year. But yeah, they got under his skin too.
yeah,
That's just what they do, man. When they're stealing it from you, 10
mhm,
blocks,
10
10
blocks.
blocks, and that's without Janai. I mean, 10 blocks in one game. And who do you think the most of them are probably who? Who would you think most of them are?
Dylan. You would think
Dylan.
you would
Yeah.
think Dylan, but
Yeah.
Chaney Johnson was
Dylan had 2 of those 10. Chaney had 4. Chad had 2. Denver had a big one. Jakai had 1. Everybody, it was a block party. Everybody was getting in the mix.
block
Uh,
party.
they were getting after it. This was another surprise, and this is somebody stepping up with Janai out. Who would you guess is the leading rebounder? Who would you guess is the leading rebounder in that game with Janai out?
Oh, if I had to guess,
Yeah,
I probably would take
I mean
Chaney Johnson. I
yeah,
probably would take
you're gonna take
Chaney
Chaney or Dylan like
or
9 times
Dylan.
out of 10, right?
Yeah,
Miles Kelly, 10 rebounds. Miles Kelly with the double double.
double double.
He's a sneak every time he's out there, he's doing the dirty work. He's not just a finesse player that's just trying to be out there and shoot threes. Although he does do that, he will shoot. He has a green light from anywhere. But he yeah, 10 rebounds, did the dirty work and showed up and showed out. It's just, man, this is probably one of the more efficient offensive nights they've had all year, and they did it without Janai. I mean, I, it's hard to find. It's hard to find like a real weakness. We keep talking about it. Maybe they're going on a little skid the last 2 games, but no, they just go out there and handle business.
They went out and handled straight business. They went out like, we got a job to do. Mississippi State rank. We without
Yeah,
Janai, but this don't mean nothing. Everybody put y'all boots on. Get ready to go in space.
yeah.
Get ready to come back down and let them know we still here.
Bruce is a motivator, man. I've heard some stuff that he said to them pregame, and I'm sure it fired them up. Talk about Bruce as a motivator. Like, is he like Is it more like a you're intimidating type of motivation, or is it like I'm motivating you like I don't want to let my dad down kind of thing? Like talk about him as a motivator and like what all that like how all that works, I guess, for to get up for a game like this.
Well, BP is one of those motivators that, being a player playing from him, being a dog, coming from where I come from, like me personally, I believe he's one of those guys I want to run through a brick wall for. Like if I see a wall right there,
Yeah.
like hearing one of his speeches, it really get me prepared to really run through anything. Like if I hear one of his speeches, I believe I can go on the football field and catch any touchdown I want to. I feel like I can guard anybody on the field. I feel like I can guard anybody on the court. I
Yeah.
like he talks with like motivation. He gives you that that give, that drive, that grit, that toughness, that like, okay, I don't feel bad for no one. But
Yeah.
if it's one game I want this one.
Yeah.
Like he want to take it all. Like he don't give no remorse. He don't care who you are. He's BP and he knows that. He knows his deal is to get my team ready and get them guys going and come with the win.
Love it. I love it. Still shooting the three at just an incredible rate, 41% for the night. They're still shooting. They're actually now, I told you a while back, Zep, the stat was it's the best 3-point shooting since 2019. Now they've surpassed the shooting percentage from three of 2019, the Final Four team, just barely, but they've edged it out for now. They're shooting at a higher clip from three than that Final Four team, and I think that's something that's where you want to be. That's definitely that's good company to be in as you move throughout this season. I got to talk about Todd's dunk, man. Tahj with the breakaway windmill. Zep, I've never seen this before. Okay, you may have because you played a lot of basketball and you've seen a lot of guys do this, but Tahj shoots with his left hand, but he dunks and finishes at the rim with his right hand. I've never seen that before. Is he? You know more about him than most. Is he right-handed? He just shoots left-handed. Like I've never seen. Typically, when you're shooting left-handed, your dominant hand when you dunk, like that's going to be the hand you go to, right? Not the other way around.
He's one of those guys. It's weird because he can use both hands. It's
Yeah,
like he can do a right hand floater, he can do a left hand floater. He can dunk with his left, he can dunk with his right. He just shoots with his left, but he
yeah,
can use both of them. You watch him, he come out screens, he shoot floaters with his right, shoot floaters. I just don't understand. He have a gift.
yeah,
It's like a gift and a curse because like if you guard this dude, it's like which way do you send him? When he's
yeah,
going to the basket, how do you guard that? What do the scouting report says? Is this guy you send him left? You send him right? Or you play him straight up? You don't understand that because
yeah. Because he can go either way.
he can go either way. He can hurt you going either hand.
Yeah, I've never. It seems like some of his more highlight stuff has been. I'm with you. I've seen him finish. I've seen him finish with both hands, but it's just weird to me that his shot is left-handed and it's so pretty, and he's shooting really well, uh, as is. But then like his highlight reel dunks, I feel like are all right-handed. He had one in AAU that was like went viral, where he dunked on. I can't remember who it was. I
Oh
think it was.
no.
I feel like it was somebody that went to Alabama, which people always talk about it, but uh, he did it with his right hand. So I've always thought that was interesting. He is getting better, Zep, and he played 21 minutes, which is good for him. He stayed out of foul trouble, and he didn't turn the ball over. He only had one turnover, which is great because he's been a little bit lazy sometimes with passes. If he can continue to progress, the sky's the limit, man, with this team. Like it's like everybody has an opportunity to get better. Like they all can continue to keep better. And if Tahj continues to do this, he loves ranked games. He plays good in ranked games, and you're about to play a bunch of them. I mean, he's not even scratching the surface yet. I feel like.
No, he's not scratching the surface yet. I feel the same way. I feel like he took care of the ball that game. He did great things coming in. I just have one flaw we always talk about. I feel like he get comfortable too much sometimes.
Yeah.
I feel like he's a great player. What I seen, he didn't box out a lot. Well, BP was on him, yelling at him like,
Yeah.
"You got to box out," and also his defense.
Yeah.
I just feel like he haven't reached his highest peak yet. Even though he's
No.
at a high peak, he have things he can work on, and when he works on those things, I advise some people to stay. I advise some people to look out because when he start playing defense,
It's game
some
over.
it's game over.
Yeah, you better go ahead and write the check because that son of a gun's gone. You better get ready because he's going to the NBA. If he can figure the defensive side out, he's just too good. He's too skilled to stay in at the college level for very long. I hope we get to keep him for at least one more year. With this fifth year thing, man, everybody's going to come back. That's what's crazy. You might have some eligibility left, man. You should come back
Hey, I
with
would.
this.
Hey, with the way they doing it now, it could be different, but you never know. But hey, I think Tahj Pettiford will be back, and I think he will be our starting point guard next year for sure.
Zep, if BP called you tomorrow, he's like, Zep, you're not going to believe this. He goes, we just got a call from the NCAA. They said you got another year. Would you come back? Would you come back? How quick would you be back in Auburn?
That will be a tough choice because I've been out for over a year. But
Yeah.
hey, I'm I ain't bringing no clothes, no shoes. I don't care if I got a jacket. I don't care if it's 20 degrees outside.
Yeah.
I'm hopping my butt in that car. I'm
Yeah.
going straight to Auburn, and I'm saying, BP, let's get it. Let's go.
Hey, you're going to be Nike'd up, though. I know that. You're going to have Nike drip everywhere.
Nike drip
Whenever.
everywhere. I'm talking about shoes coming from the FedEx, UPS,
Yeah.
Nike everywhere.
Hey, let me get that. What is that? Wristband? Let me get that. Let me get that. I'm gonna take all. I want all this. I got to get my new wardrobe going. I can't. I got so much gear to unload. I can't wait to get all this new Nike gear when it comes in. I know you got. I know you're excited. I know all the guys are excited too. So, all right, Auburn obviously dominates Mississippi State. They got to go on the road now. Go to Georgia. Georgia plays pretty good at home. They beat Kentucky at home. They beat Oklahoma at home, which is not just a huge accomplishment, but they've gone on the road and got absolutely demolished by Tennessee, where they couldn't score the basketball. And then they also lost on the road to. Give me a second. I had their schedule up just a second ago. They lost their home or their SEC opener to Ole Miss, who's actually we just saw they beat Alabama on the road by 10 points. So Ole Miss is pretty good. Tennessee's pretty good. They've played some good teams. They've played some really good teams. And now that we have to go to Athens, they're a much improved team than they were from last year. They brought in some portal pieces. They added a really, really good big man. Tell me what you think about this matchup. I guess the strengths, weaknesses. What do we got to watch for on Saturday?
Well, Georgia one of those teams. They're like one of those teams you got to watch out for
Mm-hmm.
because they're gonna try to pack out the arena, whatever you call it, Coliseum, whatever they want to call it. They want to pack it out. They want to beat Auburn pretty bad. They just lost to Tennessee. They got a lot of confidence this year because they're ranked. They haven't been ranked in a couple years. They just got a lot of guys who enter the transfer portal, who have confidence, who've been in college basketball, and they just think they have a chance this year. With any team they play. But I think us coming to this game, I think we need to be very focused on this game. This is a scary game for us. I hate to say it, but
Yeah,
it really is because something about this game, it tells me they're going to play super hard.
yeah.
They couldn't score against Tennessee. That's the only thing that stopped them. But if they could score, the game would be it'd be a better game than what it
They
was. But
played really good defense. They played really
really,
good defense in the first half. They held Tennessee to only 26 points in the first half, which is really, really good because Tennessee can score.
mm,
But then obviously Tennessee got hot in the second half, and then they just kind of pulled away. But one thing that I haven't seen Auburn have to do or I guess one without Janai Broome, haven't really had to play. I guess you had to play God, what is the guy's name from South Carolina?
Colin
Um,
Maury Bowles.
yes, you had to play him. He's a physical big, and we struggled. And now we pulled out that win, but now you got to go on the road and do it. And they have a very physical big man, Asa Newell. who is their leading scorer, scoring 15 points a game. True freshman, 6'11", 230. He's going to be a problem. He's going to be somebody that I'm curious to see. We talked about Dylan and Chaney defending without fouling. Well, they haven't had to do that against a very skilled big guy yet. And big guys tend to figure out ways to get you to foul them. So that is going to be something. That's going to be a matchup that I'm very curious to see how it plays out. Now, he cannot shoot from the he shoots 72% from the free throw line. So he's a fairly decent free throw shooter as well. So if you get him fouled, he can knock them down. So other than that, though, they've got a lot of average. They got Blue Cane that can come off the bench and shoot pretty well. They got two guys that shoot in the upper 30s from three, Dakota LeFew and Silas Demary Jr. But other than that, the biggest matchup to me is going to be how Auburn defends Asa Newell without fouling. That's going to be, to me, that decides the game. Am I way off there?
You're totally correct. That's the guy who they go to when it's key. He's like the engine to their system. He's one of those guys. He plays the game the right way. Everything
Yeah.
he does, he's not one of those freshmen that's gonna do the most, going to the paint. He's gonna do every single little thing right.
Yeah.
When I watch him play, he's one of the best freshmen in the country, without a doubt.
Without a doubt.
So, and their guards are very, very average, but they're also are good guards at the same time because, like I say, they didn't won good games. I didn't watch them play St. John's, watch them play Tennessee, and I just think the way they're playing pretty good this year. But we're gonna have to come with a great game plan, which BP is gonna come with a great game plan. But like you said, stopping Ace and Newell and not getting those guys in foul trouble, it's gonna be crucial.
Yeah, big time, big time. So yeah, definitely Auburn's got to go make it happen. It's their second game without Janai. Then they have a week off, and then they play Tennessee. And with the way he's walking around already in that boot, I just feel like he's going to be back for Tennessee. I don't know why. I don't have any intel that suggests that, but it seems like they're going to have to. He's going to have a major setback before Tennessee. I got one more question for you, and then we'll get out of here. Let me ask you this. Let's say they go to Athens and just stroke them by another 20, something like that.
Mm-hmm.
If you're BP, are you thinking now? Are you thinking, hey, we don't necessarily, should we play Janai? Should we play him at home? Or should we continue to rest him? Does the outcome Saturday change if he's like, let's just say he's like 80% or 75%? Could go against Tennessee, but you go out there and you dominate Georgia just after you dominate Mississippi State. Does it make you second guess possibly playing him? I'm just curious what you think there.
Well, with the tools they have, being one of the best sports medicine in the country, I totally think Janai will be playing against Tennessee.
Yeah.
He gonna be playing. But if to answer that question, we back out there.
We back at it. No, I love
we back at it. We making history.
Let it rip.
We making history, and
yeah.
The reason why we making history, we want to beat Tennessee, and we
want
also
that number one overall seed. That's what we want.
Number overall seed. And I hate to say it, I said something on a post today. They had Cooper Flag number one in National Player of the Year rankings, and I commented on the post and said, "It's no way Johni Broome missed one game and he shouldn't be the Player of the Year." Like, well, I hate to say this, but it's no reason why he shouldn't be number one.
No, I know. I think he's still up there in KenPom as far as like one of the most efficient players in college football or college basketball. So he's going to get dinged a little bit because unfortunately, I think Cooper scored like 40 points the last time he went out. So it's going to be tough for him to probably unseat him there. But regardless, I'm like you. If he can play, let's go. Let's knock out Tennessee, keep that number one ranking, and then keep vying for that number one overall seed. You definitely want to win your home games. I think that if it was an away game, that'd be one thing. But with it being a home game, even if he doesn't start, like let's just say you don't start him maybe and kind of fill the game out. And if you feel like you need him, you can put him in there and go take it. But regardless, big game, got to get through it. got to steal a road game anytime you can on the SEC, and that's huge. So, Zep, appreciate you, brother. Tell everybody how they can find you and support you.
On Twitter at RIP_QUAN5. Instagram at RIP_QUAN12.
All right, man. We'll catch you next time. We'll talk again soon. It's another episode of the Barn Hoops Podcast.